Hey there, Dream Chasers. This is Hannah Pryde, and welcome to Pryde Shine, the podcast where we explore the innovators and influencers of Dubai. Proudly sponsored by Pryde Migration, your dedicated partner to make Dubai your reality. Welcome to the show, Dr. Anand, serial entrepreneur and founder of Empowered Performance, advocate of Dubai, as we all know. Thank you so much for coming.
Well, thank you for having me here.
Honestly, my biggest pleasure. I'm so excited to speak to you. And for all my guests, this is one you need to tune in on, because Dr. Anand is one of the biggest advocates for Dubai and knows it like the back of his hand. So I really want to delve into your story and how you got to Dubai originally. You first of all moved to Emirates and on to Damac Properties. How did that and that journey really elevate to where you are now in Dubai?
Okay, now I'm known more for investments, property, and city of Dubai. Emirates actually was a phenomenal launchpad for me. It is an incredible company. Great visionaries were driving it, and their goal was the world.
Yeah.
We wanted to reach the world as quickly as we could, and I love those kind of companies because vision has always captivated me. Every time I find visionary people, they just catch my imagination.
Yeah.
We can see it in Sheikh Mohammed, we saw it in Sheikh Ahmed and how Emirates was built. Then I saw it in Hussein Sajwani in Damac Properties. It's always been that way. So when I was with Emirates and we had this phenomenal growth rate, and I looked after the entire training setups, built it from scratch literally at the airport, and did that in 10 years, got headhunted by Damac Properties. Now, at that point in time, the property market was very raw. 2006 Jan is when I actually came into Damac. And so it was a very small market, not much available, no transparency and all of that. But Hussein, the owner of Damac, was a visionary.
Yeah.
He had offices all over the world, literally. And I was always on a plane going, setting up trainings for them, doing the trainings, brokers, real estate professionals, all of that. And that's where I fell in love, because I could see the difference I was making to people.
Yeah.
But then as I began to grow myself and as the city began to evolve, the vision of Sheikh Mohammed is what attracted me to this. I could see that this city was not waiting to just be another player on the global stage. We wanted to lead from front.
Yeah.
And this is what Sheikh Mohammed famously said last year. He said the future belongs to those who can imagine it, who can design it, and who can create it. It isn't something that you await, it's something you create. And that's what I realized. And so that's exactly what drives me as well. You don't wait for things, you visualize it, you imagine it, you design it, and you execute it. That is what is important. And 25 years ago, when he stood up and said, I will build the best city in the world, everybody laughed at him. No one's laughing today.
I know, everyone's taking note.
Yes, and there's nothing they can do right now to stop Dubai from going to number one. And that is when I set up my own business in 2010. And from then onwards, I've been an entrepreneur. But I've worked very closely with all the real estate companies, developers, brokers, done a few things in government seminars, events, speaking next week at the International Property Show. And that's where I found that my value was actually contributing to promoting Dubai in the correct way so that people began to understand it. Once I got into that, there was no looking back.
I know, and you've honestly done a phenomenal job at advocating Dubai and showing the good of it. I think it takes a few people in Dubai, like myself, to really see the future and see where it's going. I'm definitely a creative and a visionary myself. And I think it's amazing what you're able to do and the storytelling, the statistics that you have to back it. Do you think working at Emirates and alongside these visionaries of the world, that you've been able to help other people that maybe struggle when they come to Dubai to see the future?
Yeah, definitely. That's the reason we do it. I get calls every single day. On an average, not exaggerating, I'll have about 15 requests, 15 requests every day. We want to meet you. We want to get coached. I have about 600 messages a day.
Wow.
Okay, and it comes on my Instagram, it comes on my WhatsApp or LinkedIn. People have shown up in our offices just like that, unannounced. We're not moving till we meet him. Owners of brokerages as well. So, and okay, obviously they did that because they felt there was some value.
Yeah.
And that is what I like to do. Especially, I think all of us in Dubai must carry this responsibility. We cannot be so selfish. Everyone is only looking at themselves and increasing their bank balances and doing my work. And I get it. They'll say, I'm not here to be a humanitarian. I'm not here to contribute to society. I'm here to build my business. I get that. But in this city, it is I think really important that every one of us becomes an ambassador for Dubai. Today, Dubai is confusing the world.
It really is confusing, and I think it's confusing some agents and people that work here.
Yeah. But there is clarity with us.
Yeah.
We know exactly what we're trying to do. So every single one of us has to be that ambassador. So when new people come to our city, we were new at one point. Someone somewhere along the way gave us direction.
Exactly.
And today it's our responsibility to do the same. We want the world to come to Dubai.
100%, and that's why I have to thank you for coming on this podcast, because I think you're a key element in building the dictionary that I want this to be for helping people to move to Dubai. And I think as well, when you say that it is a visionary and it is helping people move to Dubai, how have you been able to build this amazing brand for yourself on added value? Especially you started this 2-3 years ago when not many people were adding value. They were just saying what they sold or saying what's coming to Dubai or what they're selling. How were you able to find that that's what people actually need to hear?
Okay. There's two statements I keep saying, and I repeat them almost on every podcast, and I'll keep doing it. The first one is this. We are building the best city in the world. We have the best airport coming up. Mm-hmm. We have the best ecosystems for business now 4 years running. We're building the best communities, the best lifestyles, the best quality of life, the best tax structures, the best of everything. Why should real estate be an average experience then when we want everything to be the best? Mm-hmm. I cannot accept any buyer or seller in Dubai having anything less than a red carpet real estate experience. Mm-hmm. That's the first thing. The second thing I always say is we cannot come to a city like Dubai to enjoy this beautiful lifestyle, give ourselves the opportunities, put the money in our bank accounts and leave it up to Sheikh Mohammed to take the city into the future. Yes. Every single one of us has the responsibility to be ambassadors. So around 3 years ago, especially when the podcasts and social media started to get even more active, and I noticed that during the lockdown, when people didn't have a lot to do, they were pretty much transfixed to their screens.
Yes,
there was nowhere else that they could go. And it actually came out even more during that time that people were riveted for it. But where was the quality information? Where were the statistics that could be backed up? Where was the accuracy? Where was the vision? How do we understand the future of Dubai? There was almost no one giving that information. And I saw that as a huge gap in the market. And so I decided to step in and fill the gap. That was all I wanted to do. I genuinely wanted everybody in Dubai, the buyers, the sellers, the developers, the brokers, the international communities. I genuinely wanted everybody to really understand Dubai and get the best from it. Mm-hmm. And so I took it upon myself as my own personal mission, if you want to call it that way, to educate Dubai.
Well, thank you for it.
From there, it just expanded. Now everyone's listening from around the world. Yeah.
Well, you've got one of the most captivating voices. And honestly, when I say you really put together storytelling statistics in such a great way that people actually listen to you and know it's facts. And I think for someone like yourself, where you're speaking with both buyers, sellers, internationals and developers, you're someone that's key in this market that needs to join the dots. How have you used AI to help you build and help Dubai build as a whole?
Okay, AI is a blessing.
I know.
This is the way I look at it. It's been an absolute blessing, particularly in the last 2 to 3 years. Today, we have access to any bit of information anywhere on the planet. Before, pre-COVID, we had certain international reports, all brilliant ones. Seville's report, Henley and Partner, Knight Frank, CBRE reports. They're all great reports. Okay. However, we had limited access. We were not even aware if there was probably a report. So, for example, the Mori Memorial Foundation in Japan brings out the GPCI, the Global Power City Index. Yeah. Now, we chance upon these things. So, we had very limited access because you, me, no matter how much of experience we have limited amount of time and reach. Yeah. But today we have technology which can access every bit of data globally in a microsecond.
It's crazy.
And so all of that is in front of us and we are not using it. So I use it all the time. I use it for data. I use it for trend analysis. I use it for understanding concepts, interpreting information, creating pitches, presentations. In fact, I'll share a very interesting incident with you. There's an American developer here, a company where we had a session And the owner, myself, and we had a great guy who does a lot of podcasts with us as well. So I had Waleed with me, and I had Main Reality, which was the company, Amir, the owner. And we had all these brokers around us, this whole big gang. And it was all a back and forth on social media and things like this. And we came to this topic on AI. I said, okay, let me ask a question to you all now. No one looks at the phone. I'm a buyer. I want to buy something in Maidan Horizon. Give me 5 reasons why Maidan Horizon is one of the best performing communities. Give me data and reports, sources on that information. Give me also 3 other communities that could compete on the same level as Maidan Horizon. And I also want you to give me a trend analysis of what has happened in the last 5 years. Then what do we expect in the next 10 years? I said, who can give it to me? And honestly, there were no replies. There's 1 or 2 who could answer a few bit, but nothing. I said, now, everybody open up your phone, go to ChatGPT, type word for word exactly what I said. I said, once everybody's done, click the hit button.
Yeah. Do you know, it's crazy. That was
2 seconds. Everything you needed was right there. I said, why would you not use these?
Yeah. I do it all as a real estate brokerage for new builds. It's crazy you said that, because one of the first times I used AI on that in depth was actually on Maidan Horizon. So you're sitting there and I'm going, it's got the Blue Line metro station, it's comparable to Buy Hills, so it'll look good. And I'm like, that's wild. But I'm the exact same with you, and I actually speak with my team on a daily basis, especially if you're selling investments, new builds, analysis for people moving to Dubai. I think AI in general has assisted everyone, and I think anyone that is looking, and you'll know yourself, that is looking to move to Dubai, they need the facts, figures and statistics. And I think that's what you define now. A good agent and a shit agent is who actually knows the stats and statistics. Keep saying it wrong. But why is JBC compared to Maidan good? It's not just it's 15 minutes away from Burj Khalifa, and I think that's where everyone in Dubai now is getting sick of the phone calls every 10 minutes going 15 minutes from Burj Khalifa is a good payment plan. No, tell me the actual real reasons why it's good.
I'll even give you some of the ways to use it. And for whoever's listening, if they're listening and taking note, this is what they should do. Let's say I'm meeting James as a client, and I have to do a presentation to him. So I could go to ChatGPT and I could say, I have a client. His name is James. He's the CEO of a technology company out of Houston in the US. James is a left-brained individual, and he's used to investments which are in $1 million and above ticket range. He's had 0 exposure to the Dubai market. However, he's invested a lot in Far East Asia, as well as in the US and in Europe. What's the best pitch I can use for a left-brained CEO like James, and how should I structure my presentation?
Wow.
In 2 seconds, I got it. Now I know what I can use. But people don't use it.
Yeah.
Why? Every single client you meet, you could do this. I could even use things like culture. I have this buyer coming in from India, heavy on Vastu compliant homes. What is Vastu? How can I explain to him the Vastu compliant features in a development? Put it, you'll get your answer. People are scratching their heads and going and making things up.
I know.
Even more a reason today. And if you've got buyers listening to this, I want them to know this. Because if you went back 4 years ago, and let's say I had this buyer, James, out of the US, James had limited access to any information in Dubai, which is why he had to really rely on very, very good and trustworthy agents, which also he didn't have the best ways to qualify. So he had limited access. It was more the hearsay, a bit of Google search, listening to some friends, people who have lived in Dubai. Just because you lived in Dubai in 15 years doesn't make you an authority in real estate. But now James can sit in Houston on his own. He can get onto ChatGPT, ask exactly the same question, and come here armed with all the information and meets this Mickey Mouse broker who hasn't bothered to do his research. So today, every single buyer within microseconds can access any bit of information as much as us. So if brokers are going to still keep showing up, taking things for granted, you're going to run into some serious headwind because the buyers have access to every bit of information today.
It's crazy. And how do you think, I want to touch on 2 points what you've just said. How do you think, or why do you think these agents aren't utilizing AI and all this access now we have more than ever to information? Why aren't they doing it?
I'll give you the answer. Some of them are not going to like it, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It's perfectly fine. I'll put it on record also that there is, I would say, about 15% to 18% of the market, really good brokers, professional, hungry for success, but wanting to deliver value. These people will do their homework. There are the others. Honey always attracts flies. I came in, number one market in the world, easy to sell. I can see a lot of money flying this way. Particularly, I see a social media post. My friend is standing there and it says 27 million homes sold. And I'm calculating how much commission he made, but I have no idea how much he worked for that. The blood, sweat, and tears, the 50 degrees weather, the pushing away the other agents, going viewing to viewing, and then he closed it. I saw the 27 million. I calculated my 2% on it. I said, I want to get into this. So, one, they want the shortcuts, they want the money, but they don't love the process. They're not in love with real estate, with their clients, or Dubai. They're in love with the money. So this is that group of people who just don't do it. It's not that they don't know how to love. If they have to go on a vacation, let's say they're deciding to go to Thailand, the dedication and the discipline with which they will do their searches on all the platforms to find the best hotels, to find the most economical airfare, if they're looking for economy. You shouldn't be if you're in real estate. But they know exactly, and no one has to motivate them and say, Hannah, check this website. Hannah will find the website because Hannah wants that information. But if Hannah doesn't want the real estate experience, she's not going to look for it.
And how do you think? I think every single thing, just to say, every single thing you've just said is so valid. And I think every single brokerage or anyone that's looking to set up a brokerage should be making sure they're hiring people that have the want. Because I think a lot of people that come to Dubai think it's really easy to make cash. The buyers think it's really fun to speak to every single agent in the market. So I think it's imperative as an agent, you should be doing the research and you should, on behalf of your client, be finding the value. But how do you think Dubai as a whole should cut out these Mickey Mouse agencies or agents? Like, what do you think Dubai should be doing, being like, we can't have this anymore? Because I guess it's like what you said at the start. We should be giving the red carpet experience to anyone looking to immigrate. It's a massive thing to say you're coming from India, UK, America, moving your family, taking the move over here. How do we make sure that they aren't hit with these Mickey Mouse brokers that make them go, what have I done?
Okay, I think there are multiple answers to this one. Firstly, we are an emerging city. We're still learning, growing. The city of Dubai that people know is 25 years old. I mean, we've been around for much longer, 53 plus years, but the Dubai that people know is from the year 2000 and beyond. So we're still in a learning curve. But you could go to the best cities in the world. You're going to find these Mickey Mouse guys in the US. You're going to find them in Australia. You'll find them in India. You'll find them even in Singapore. So the reality is they're still there because the government can put checks and balances in place. However, there are people who will slip through the cracks because, one, you do have investors also who come in without the right mindsets. They want to cut corners, so they're willing to work with these kind of people. So there is a lot of that is happening all over the world. And Dubai is acutely aware of it. And what I love about the land department here, RERA, is they're always out there talking, educating the markets, but they're now relying heavily on AI, prop tech, and bringing in all the digital technology to eliminate a lot of these middlemen. So automatically you're going to see the ones who are not solid in what they do, who are not ambassadors for their own industry, are going to be very soon out of the market. And honestly, those people should go. When an agency is just going to hire anybody, it tells me already the mentality of the ownership of that agency, they also need to go. It's as simple as that. If I find a broker working in a market and representing an agency and he's this Mickey Mouse, so to say.
I love this thing.
But if he's like that, it is not his fault. Who allowed him to come into that agency? So the agency needs to have a process in place.
100%.
So again, we cannot just blame it on the broker. We have to blame it even on many of the agencies, because the good agencies are very, very particular who they want to bring in. They have genuine intent, just like good brokers have it. But then honey attracts flies. So we have many of them, which is, I think, one reason why technology today is eliminating the need for many of these people. 100%. Because the access to information, communities, everything that I need to know, even the buying processes have all been so simplified. I could be sitting in Zimbabwe and I could do my entire transaction. So that is a huge blessing for the market. So I would say that this drive with AI technology, we have a chief AI officer in every government department now. This is good for the market. The blockchain coming in, the tokenization of properties, everything when the smart contracts coming in. I think all of this is going to bring huge correction in the market. It's never going to replace the broker market. That was never the intent in the first place. But it will definitely only keep in place those who are tech savvy, genuinely want to be part of the future landscape, and are aligning and adapting to the changes that are coming. The rest are going to be gone. That's for sure.
100%. My gran always used to say, you don't get bad staff, you just get bad bosses. And I think I spoke on a podcast last week about it. AI is the biggest helper for anyone that owns a business, is an entrepreneur, which I guess every agent and most people now moving to Dubai are entrepreneurs. It's the biggest access that we've ever had as a resource, bar the internet all those years ago. And I think people that are scared that AI is going to overtake their job, they don't understand how to use it, and they obviously aren't doing their job to the best capabilities, or they have a job that AI should be doing instead. And I think that's where in Dubai people should be very much on a collaborative. They should be wanting to learn, they should be wanting to utilize it to make themselves better, because let's be serious, Dubai is the future, therefore you need to work with all the tools to make you very futuristic and be able to see.
So again, when they're afraid, they're not even making the effort to try and understand what is AI or embrace it. But they'll sit over a shisha and they will grumble about something which they haven't even bothered to check out.
Yeah, it's wild.
That's the first thing that you should be doing to understand how you can bring this in. In fact, I have a take on it. I have RI and AI. RI being real intelligence, AI being artificial intelligence. And I would like to switch the term. I would like what we call AI today, I would rather call it RI. That's the real intelligence. That's searching the globe for information, for reports, for data. And we have communities of salespeople who fake it and act like as if what they're saying is the truth. They are the artificial intelligence.
I just, you know what, I sometimes like see these agents and I'm like, how do they actually sell? But I guess they're like bulls in a China market. They're most convincing people. And I guess it's kind of sad for the person they're selling to, but also they should be doing their due diligence. It's not all down to the agent. It should be the person selling. Use your head at times. Make sure you're double checking the facts of what you're being told. So it's half and half, I would say.
Yeah, but I would still want to put on record that we do have some amazing agencies and agents in Dubai. And for those of you who are in that category, bravo. Well done. Dubai needs more like you. 100%. For the others, shape up or ship out.
Great saying. I'm going to steal that. But 100%. How do you think now that Dubai has obviously evolved and you've been in the market for more than 20 odd years now, how have you seen it evolve around communities getting formed, in the sense, not communities like Dubai Hills and whatnot, but communities within networks of people growing and working together? How have you seen that make Dubai a better place?
Okay. Dubai, the whole world has become communal now.
Yeah.
We are all connected. Okay. If you went back 20 years ago, we were largely regional or even local. So we had an individualistic way of doing things. Today, everything is connected. There is no way you cannot be culturally and socially, intellectually connected with the rest of the world. So we have one large global community. Dubai is like a micro representation of that global community. So whether it is business, education, theater, entertainment, sporting events, just residences, we are building large local communities because we want to gather the best in the world for each. For example, AI will have its own community here. Business will have its own community here. We're going to be having, let's say, blockchains, future technologies having their own communities. The reason is this. We have seen and learned from the other cities. So that's been a blessing in a way for us that we could figure it out. Today, Dubai is not even having one downtown. Every city around the planet has a single downtown, and we had a single downtown for a certain amount of time. Dubai will now have 3 downtowns. We've got the downtown that everybody is aware of. There is the second one coming up in the Greek Harbour, which will be a downtown, and then you got Expo downtown in Expo City. So this is you can actually see a decentralization happening with multiple communities, residential, commercial, retail, hospitality, business, education, all coming together in multiple areas. In fact, smart cities, everything within 15 to 20 minutes is the way forward for the future, which is the reason why we are spreading into the desert. And we do have a lot of space which we can use wisely, which is one of the lessons we've learned from the other cities who unfortunately have run out of space and they could not do anything.
Yeah.
Dubai is 4,114 square kilometers. We're barely 800 square kilometers into development. So we have a lot of space, but we're using it wisely. This is the reason why when you have the Dubai South fully developed, someone from Dubai South wouldn't even need to come to a downtown in Dubai.
Yeah.
They'll get anything and everything that they need right up there. So we are making it such that every community is smart, inclusive. Go to a Dubai Hills estate.
I know.
You don't even need to leave Dubai Hills estate for anything.
I know.
Except for the airport. Yeah. So.
But you have two choices in.
And so yes, again, you can go north or south. So all I'm saying, that's why I'm saying everything has to be community driven today.
Yeah.
And Dubai has, I think, bought into that very well. Over and above all of that, one of the things that Dubai is, I think, especially in this part of the region, is even the religious communities. We are open to all faiths. We welcome everybody. That safety is there. I know I will not be questioned because I don't come from the primary religion in these parts. We welcome every single person. We build worship houses for them here because we want these people to come and we want them to know Dubai is a micro world or micro earth, if you want to call it that. Also, we're talking quality of life. We have the Dubai Social Agenda 2033. We've got quality of life strategy 2033. We're not only about business and money. We're about quality of life. We are about the future in Dubai. So everything is community based. It's the only way it could happen.
It's 100%. And I think Dubai Hills has been a pinnacle of showing what EMAR and all these developers can do when they come together and be able to make something a smart city, which now when, this is a question for you actually, when people now say to you as an agent and you're selling real estate and they'll say, oh, but they're building too many developments. We've already got Dubai Hills. Will we see the same agenda again? Will that happen? Will you get the capital appreciation? What would you say to these people when they say, you've got Expo, you've got the Creek, you've got Dubai Islands, you've got everything else in between? What do you say to them and go, there's too much?
Okay, my first question would be always, when you make a statement to me, I want to know what's your source. So I always tell them, I'm glad you brought that up. Where exactly did you get that information from? 9 out of 10 cannot give me the answer. They probably heard it from someone who heard it from someone. So I heard it from my friend. I trust my friend. So I never asked my friend, that's interesting. Where did you get it from?
Yeah.
So finally, my friend's perception becomes my reality. So a lot of people are walking around there based on perception rather than reality. That's the first thing. The second thing, the more educated answer to this would be, you cannot separate real estate from the economic agendas of the city. Another word for real estate is infrastructure.
Yes.
Right? We are building a massive economic agenda. I'll just mouth off the reports now. We may not have time for it, but people can research it. We have the Dubai Economic Agenda, D33. We have the Dubai Education Agenda, D33. We have the Dubai Social Agenda, S33. We have the Dubai Real Estate Strategy, 2033. We have the Dubai Quality of Life Strategy, 2033. We now have the National Investment Strategy, 2031. We have the Dubai Urban Master Plan, 2040. We have the Dubai Centennial Plan, 2071, 45 years in the future. We also have the highway plan of Dubai. We have the internal roads plan. There is just so much towards the future. Now, how do you move into the future? How do you double your economy? Because according to the D33 agenda, we're doubling our economy, moving from 14.6 trillion to 25.2. We're having a doubling foreign direct investments to $650 billion. We are actually opening up new corridors for business to Southeast Asia, Latin America because of BRICS, and then there's Africa, the emerging economic giant. We are signing trade agreements with 400 cities. That's 47 cities a year. Almost every week we're signing a trade agreement with a new city. 70% is the increase in population projected by 2033. We will be at 6 million. We will be at 7.8 million by 2040. For all of this to happen, we need infrastructure.
100%.
That is where the real estate is coming in. And we are decentralizing things, so you will see multiple downtowns. Let's take another simple, we used to have beaches, only waterfront, right? Today we got beaches in the desert. We're
crazy.
putting lagoons and lakes in the desert. We've taken our beaches to you. You don't have to come to Jumeirah anymore to enjoy a beach experience. So this is what we are doing. We are bringing everything into the deserts, into our communities, because we can see the future growth where we have a requirement. I'll share just one statistic so that people understand what's going on. We have 306,000 units currently under development. We are handing over barely around 35 to 50% of the projected handovers every year. So we're short on handovers actually. So in the next 4 years, around 160 to 180,000 units will come out. That's it. Next 4 years, 160 to 180,000 units. Let's look at what's going to happen to the population itself. We're expecting 1 million people to come in the next 4 years. That's an average of 250,000 people every single year.
It's crazy.
Yeah, the average family size in Dubai is 5.3.
Yes.
The CEIC, Census and Economic Information Center. And 5, frankly, 5 is not a big number. It's a husband, wife, 2 kids, and a domestic help is 5. But not everyone coming in is a family of 5. You have single breadwinners coming, people looking for jobs. They'll bring their families later, or they'll meet someone and create a family. So we are in requirement of around 65 to 70,000 homes actually every year. We're handing over between 25 to 30,000 homes a year. We are short of homes just for the new people coming into the city. What about the existing people who came a few years ago, have built up capital or enough credibility so that they can get mortgages? They're not going to find homes to buy. Holiday home companies are swallowing up a large part of the market. There's been a 30% increase in just 1 year for holiday homes. So if you look at what's happening now, why people are confused is they cannot put their heads around or wrap their heads around the fact that while so many units are handing over, so many launches are going on.
Yeah.
What they fail to understand is that's all part of the infrastructure. We have 1 million people coming. We need 200,000 homes in the next 4 years. We're going to hand over around 140 to 160. So all these handovers that we're seeing are to take care of the current requirement. But 4 years from now, we will have another 1 million people coming in the next 4 years. If we don't launch now, we will not have inventory for them in 2029.
100%.
So to take care of the future market, we must launch now. The developers are working in line with the government. That's why you'll see always the announcements in the newspaper saying in line with the Dubai 33 agenda.
Yeah.
So the launches for now, people need to understand there's 2 parallel markets in Dubai. The current handovers is to take care of current requirement. The launches is for the future need of Dubai.
And I think that's where a lot of people miss out. For people that have just came to Dubai, they don't understand the future and how fast Dubai evolves. I've been here 5 years and I've seen the launch of Dubai Hills, Emaar Beachfront. I've seen it build up, so I understand it. And I think that's where we're seeing a lot of agents always saying that's an objection. But when you do look at the statistics, when you look at people that have been here for 15, 20 odd years, seen the development of the Palm and the Marina, they can really wrap their head around it. And I think a lot of people from the UK are probably not used to developers and governments working together and going off the same alignment, because some governments around the world just don't speak to each other. So I think that's the difference of working with and being a part of a government and a city that is so futuristic and actually ensure that they don't have an undersupply and they are, I guess, resolving the rental issues and everything in Dubai, that we're a shortage and it's so high because there's so many people here. So it's really interesting. I'm sure people will listen to what you've just said because they need to wrap their head around the statistics you've just said.
Yeah, I also wanted to put something else on the table because I do hear it from a lot of people and I understand they're operating from a point of lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay, they just don't know. So this is what happens. So they end up actually thinking and saying that, but then, all these developers you see coming in, they're just taking advantage of the situation. Yeah. Now, probably might be true of some of the smaller players, probably because they've seen it's an opportunistic market, so I want my bit in it. But you look at the Emaars, you look at the Nakils, you look at the Aldars, you look at the Mirases, the government developers who are working in line with government strategy, they're launching as well.
100%.
And they're wholesaling out. They're part of that greater plan. Now, if you don't understand the plan, you need to ask about it. You don't shoot it down because you don't understand it. And another thing I think now would be perfect to talk about it is Dubai is about the future. When people come to Dubai, they want to buy, they could come from India, they could come from Canada, Europe, they could come from the US. People operate with a frame of reference, right? Every human on the planet only operates with frames of reference, and this is the big danger.
Yeah.
Because our frames of reference are usually from our past. It's
Yeah.
what we know, what we have understood, what we've experienced, but that's in the past.
Yeah.
So my frame is largely past based.
Yeah.
It's also unconscious, which means it just automatically gets applied. So when I sit in front of a futuristic city, I try to understand based on what I know. But what you know is the past. You cannot use a past frame of reference to try and understand a future city. So we need to use a future reference frame. So, and people do this unconsciously, so they wouldn't be able to pinpoint exactly why. Because if you actually look at the mix, some of the top buying nationalities now are coming from Europe. Germany is coming up in a big way. Italy is here. The UK has always been here. So all these people who are sitting there and saying, no, it doesn't make sense, then help me understand why your brothers and fellow business partners are among the top 7 or 8 nationalities in Dubai. Just does not make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. And do you know what's interesting? People in Germany have got the previous historic that they never used to buy and they used to let, but they are now investing into Dubai because they see the returns, they see the infrastructure, which is phenomenal. And I think everyone listening to this really needs to take account that Dubai are developing quickly. There was a shortage, I guess, not a shortage, there was a longer wait list for schools, so now they're building schools, they're getting the education system up, and that just shows the height and how many people are moving to Dubai in one go. You've obviously been here, you've seen it far longer than I have. I've only been here 5 years. How do you see Dubai's 20-year vision? Do you see it going even far beyond that we're already getting told? Do you see it?
Oh, absolutely. If you look at the Centennial Plan, which is the 2071 plan, 45 years into the future. By the way, in 2071, it's called the Centennial Plan because we would have completed 100 years as a country since we got the independence in 1971. So we have plans 100 years into the future. However, it's a lot of information to be released at one point of time, and it's too early to talk about what's going to happen 50 years later. So the strategy that we have is we'll tell you about the next 10 years.
Yeah.
And then we'll tell you about the next 10. And then we'll tell you about the next 10. But the plans are there. What are you going to do if we tell you about 30 years from now what's going to happen when you are still struggling to understand what we're doing in the next 5 years?
Yeah.
And some of it sounds too good to be true. When we first talked about flying taxi, they said, you got to be joking, right? No one's laughing now.
I know, because it's here.
So this is what we're building, an entire air-conditioned city now. There is a cognitive city coming. None of the information is out there yet, but cognitive cities are coming up. Around 250,000 people will live there, where the city shapes itself around the lifestyle of its inhabitants.
Wow.
That is coming. So just an example for people to understand it. It's too early to share information on that because even we are not fully clear about it. It will come at the right point in time. You would walk home, you'd come home, Hannah, and you would be greeted by AI and say, Hannah, welcome home. By the way, I just noticed that the temperature on your skin is 2.3 degrees higher. The dryness is 40% more. It looks like you might be having dehydration problem. Would you like me to schedule an online appointment for you with a doctor, or shall I just book for an in-house visit?
Wow.
And I also noticed today's Thursday, you love your eggs for breakfast on Friday mornings. There's only 2 in the fridge, so I've ordered from the local supermarket for you a dozen eggs, and I've paid using your credit card.
It's crazy. But then how, this is what, like, I see it and I love Dubai, and this is when people ask me, because I came to Dubai on a holiday, there was no plan to stay here, and now I can never see myself leaving. But how do the people that come here and move here, how do they ever move anywhere else? Because you and I know our life, you can.
You can't move anywhere.
And that isn't even with our new cities that you're speaking about that'll do everything for us. Like, how are all these, like, how is America, how is the UK, how is Europe, how is India, how are they going to now compete with Dubai on the global platform ever?
Look, we would love it for them to be able to do so. They still have a lot of global pull, and so I think they will still be key players.
Yeah.
What they should learn from Dubai is, I think, a few things. One of the things that really makes Dubai stand out is the people and the government are connected here. You don't see the distance. that you can feel the love of the government for its people. You can feel that they're doing things for the people. In most of the global cities, the governments are disconnected from the people. They think about their own political agendas, and it's not about the people. This is very evident to see around the world. Here's the other way around. It's love for the people. This is one thing that Dubai has done really well. One. I think the second thing for them to understand is Dubai was open to change.
Yeah.
Dubai was open to consider the impossible, the future. I mean, there's been a video that came out last year with Idris Elba, the actor, talking about it as a young man frustrated in the US, and he's got these ideas and everyone's telling him, no, it can't be done, and they're shooting down. And in that video, he's told, if it's impossible, bring it to Dubai. And the whole message in the video is, if your ideas are normal, keep it where you are.
Yeah.
We don't want it. If it is impossible, Habibi, bring it to Dubai. We want that. So I think this is something they need to embrace. They need to be future oriented. They need to be visionary. You don't have a ruling party shooting down what the the opposition says. The opposition not doing it. Work together. They will not. They will not do it. And these are the first world countries. Democracy is supposed to be the wisdom of the world in there. But a family-run city is putting everybody in the shade because they genuinely care about their people. So I think these cities, if they really want to compete, there must be a radical shift of thinking at the leadership levels. It cannot happen down below. The reason they're losing some of their best talent and visionaries is because they are resonating with Dubai and they are coming into Dubai.
100%.
They cannot resonate with their own cities anymore.
Yeah.
The other thing which I talk about always is Dubai is an engineered city. The others are organic. Now, when I say an organic city grows based on the local and regional influence, what is happening around there. So geopolitical situations, it could be wars, it could be a natural calamity, all of those impact. But they grow marginally based on the influence of the region. So their growth is not a planned, structured growth. Dubai has planned with our 10 years, 16 year, 45-year plans. So when you make plans for 10 years, 16 years, you factor into it political shifts, you factor into it pandemics, you factor recessions, you factor wars, and all of these things, and create your emergency response plans. For example, we have the DFF, which is the Dubai Future Foundation, which is one of the monitoring bodies for the tokenization. One of their major agendas is future accelerators. Now, future accelerators is this concept where the government and its strategy, one, you create future-based strategies. Second, you actually help the government through AI and technology and blockchain to be able to predict the most responsive and effective ways to overcome potential threats to your agendas. So a pandemic is never declared overnight. So let's say there is a situation that's coming up. Future technology, the future accelerators will predict the most effective way to prepare for it and align before the pandemic comes.
Yeah.
So as a government, that's how we are thinking, because we have strategies and we have published them for the world to see.
Exactly.
That is what happens when you're an engineered city. This is why Dubai is at the top.
It's honestly what Dubai has done, even through the last pandemic, the only one we've had here. It was so fast out because of the strategies, and you can see from the top, which is something I want to ask you about. How do you think the leader of Dubai has been able to resonate his visionary to everyone? Because it's something you've just said, really pinnacle there, that everyone's willing to work together and be collaborative. How do you think he's done that from the top? Because it's what I see with most of investors or people that I speak to that are moving to Dubai is they can't believe how willing people are to help each other, how willing people are to be visionaries together, to give ideas. Like what you've just done on this podcast, you're telling people what to put into AI to help them. You are telling people how to be better at their job for free. People just have to utilize it. How do you think we've done this, and how do you think everyone's now singing from the same hymn sheet for a community and a city that's growing so fast?
You see, in the business world, we say, if you want to check the health of a team, look at the health of the leader, right? If a team is not performing well, look at the manager, he's not doing a great job. If the team is performing well, look at the manager, he's doing a great job. I would expand that to our government levels.
Yeah.
Okay, when you have a leader who's visionary, inclusive, okay, genuinely for his people, he surrounds himself with similar people.
Yeah.
And everyone echoes the same message. So the vision becomes now echoed by ambassadors at that level. And people feel it. We are a family in Dubai.
Yeah.
We're not anything. I'll give you an example. Let's look at the pandemic, at what happened in the pandemic. Uh, Israel and the UAE were the two countries that were leading the responses worldwide, and then UAE became number one. But when you look at what happened during the pandemic, this is what I love. We acted early. We shut down our cities. We sterilized the whole city. I haven't heard of cities being sterilized, but we did that. And in 4 months, we were the fastest to open for business, and the whole world thought we were crazy.
I know.
And the result of that is what we have today. We're sitting at the top. But what I want to talk about is when that thing happened. If you look at the first world countries and how they responded, they did not want to acknowledge there was a pandemic. They lied to their people. They kept their businesses and the governments open. They actually lied. I'm talking of first world countries.
That's crazy.
Okay. They had all the intelligence, they had all the money, they had the medical systems, they had the vaccines, but they kept their countries open for business, and we shut down early. And it needed, this was the sad part, it needed millions to die before they would shut down.
That's crazy.
And we never did that because in Dubai, everyone was family. When we gave the vaccines to our people, we did not differentiate from the Emiratis and the municipality workers whom we don't even see in the daytime.
Yeah.
But they are family with us. And that feeling happened with everybody. Which is why I always say, if something had to go wrong, I want my family to be in Dubai when it happens.
Yeah.
Because my government cares.
100% they care, and it's something you've just said. Dubai always act fast, and it's all about reaction. And it's crazy to think these first world countries that have the exact same resources, if not more in that time, in that period of time, that they were slow to react, and they were like, let's just see where it goes, which I find absolutely wild. How you also mentioned on tokenization. I want to speak about this. Where do you think detokenization, or for people that have never even heard of detokenization, how do you think Dubai is becoming the leader of that worldwide?
Okay, tokenization.
Tokenization.
Not detokenization. No, that's fine. That's okay. That's right. Tokenization and blockchain has been around for a while now already. And a lot of people don't understand blockchain, and therefore they don't understand tokenization, right? So let's first talk about tokenization as a concept. In a very simple term to explain, it's like you can now buy shares in a company.
Yeah.
So I don't have to own the whole company. I can have a fractional ownership. The difference with tokenization and fractional ownership, which has always been here for some time, there have been companies doing it. They were using what's called fiat money. Fiat money is people paying through bank transfers, credit cards, checks, etc. With tokenization, it is digital currencies through blockchain. So now I can use another channel to be able to have an investment in Dubai. But what's the real advantage of tokenization here? Today we have opened out. We are actually the first city to do this. I know the US, Europe are all heavy in, they're well advanced into researching this, but we've done it.
Yeah.
So now everyone can have a piece of the property. There are people in Dubai who would love to invest in property or have some part of it, but they just can't. Now they can.
Yeah.
And the beauty of it is because even though it's a fractional ownership, you earn as much as someone who owns the entire apartment.
Yeah.
Because the apartments appreciate value total, right? So one guy gets 15% of his 2 million. Here I have 10 owners who get 15% proportionate to their tokens. So everybody still gets the same 15%. So I don't earn less because I'm putting less. Proportionate, I earn the same. But how does this add the value to the market? One, besides opening the market to everyone who can have part of it, there are several other benefits. Let's say, as a developer, I launch a tower. And I need to sell a lot of units within a certain time frame. So I have enough money coming into my escrow through the down payments and the future payments. So I know my building can complete. So if I'm not able to sell enough, then I am going to run into some headwind later. With tokenization now, as a developer, I can select Maybe certain part of the inventory could be put for tokenization, certain part kept for those investors who want exclusivity and ownership. But now those that are sold through the tokenization will now bring a lot more money into the escrow. Therefore, my escrow becomes a lot more solid. The projects can finish faster. And when they finish faster, there's more credibility, more people want to buy. So tokenization will become another way of more funds flowing in for the developers. And you will actually see some developers are already doing it right there. Damac announced it in January of this year. $1 billion worth of inventory this year is being tokenized. They're using a platform called Mantra from India to do it. Last year in July, MAG announced $500 million of property, Ketura Reserve, more on the Maidan side and the creek side. And so they had 500 million also on Mantra. So we can see now developers looking out to create more capital for themselves in the market.
I think it's super interesting. One of my job roles 2 years ago was I was PA for a company that was doing tokenization, and I thought it was super futuristic, but obviously opened the doors for the people that maybe are struggling to save, and especially with the economic crisis that we're maybe having in other parts of the world, certainly not in Dubai yet. It gives them the opportunity to have that fractional ownership. And it's interesting to see that Dubai is adopting that, and it's interesting to see for you guys listening that Dubai is adopting that, because a lot of people probably look at the price point of Dubai now, and if they're maybe looking at smaller cities in the UK or smaller cities in America where property is a lot cheaper than it can be in the likes of Paris, London, Dubai, New York, this is their opportunity to be able to invest and, as you said, have a proportionate return of what they've invested. Why do you think Dubai has been an early adopter of this?
Again, we being visionary, we don't want to do what is normal and traditional. Why? We have seen the impact and the percentage of returns or contribution those initiatives are given to the cities. We want more because we're going to the next level, which is why we have the DFF, the Dubai Future Foundation. Their responsibility is to create future strategies, to have future labs for AI, robotics, to create the future accelerators. The plan is bring up what we need in the future, so we start working on it now. Even in the tokenization itself, let's just stay there for the moment because there's so many benefits. Today, because we want to become the best city in the world, we need more complex communities, larger communities, self-contained, smart cities, which require heavy investments coming into them. So while we believe that as a brand Dubai, we are still pulling in all of that, we want to take it to the next level. Because we want developers to not be hesitant to launch such complicated communities, because I need a large amount of money for the infrastructures to be in place so people will find it attractive and will want to buy homes. So I need money for that. Tokenization now allows me to bring a whole new set of buyers into the same project. I'll keep some for exclusivity, some going to tokenize. So I can create very early a lot of cash so my infrastructure, lifestyle opportunities are ready quickly. And that in turn encourages more people to buy because they can see the infrastructure coming up. So I just don't take handover in 2.5 to 3 years and then drive through sand. I can see it all happening. Other benefits of it, I can now diversify. I have 2 million. I have to pick one unit. I have to be really careful where I pick it. But now I could probably pick up fractional shares in 7 or 8 different units in different areas, so I can have more flexibility with my investments and optimize my earnings. I can also scale upwards. I might have been the 2 million, 5 million kind of guy, and I could never get a piece of branded real estate. So today there is a possibility that some of the developers will have exclusive branded residences and some could go into tokenization. So while I now was only part of 5 million, 2 million units, I can now have a share in a 30 million unit going forward. There's just so much that can be done with the tokenization. We're at the experimental phase, which is why it's a pilot phase. And I believe the learning that will come out of this for the government, for investors, the opportunities for developers is huge. And you will see a lot more coming in the future. And because it's on blockchain, it is efficient, There's transparency, there's accuracy, minimization of frauds. We have the Dubai Land Department monitoring the actual stock that is going into tokenization. We have VARA, the Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority, monitoring the transactions and the platforms to eliminate the fraud. We have DFF, the Dubai Future Foundation, monitoring the potential of these opportunities. And we also have each of the platforms themselves have got their own checks and balances in place. That is the reason why they were allowed to work anyway in Dubai in the first place. So multiple checkpoints have come, besides the fact that blockchain itself brings so much security into the system. The future is bright.
It's really bright, really, really bright. And it's just amazing what Dubai is really forming and what they're building on a whole. And I think people listening to this will really see that they have an opportunity in all areas. What bit of advice would you give to any entrepreneur that is looking to move to Dubai, or anyone that's just looking to come seize an opportunity here, whether it is employment or whether it is investing in real estate? What piece of advice would you give them?
Okay, first thing I would like to tell anybody is be very careful who you listen to.
100%. Back that.
Be very, very careful, because there's a lot of good stuff out there and there's a lot of hype out there. Now, it is your responsibility. It's your money. It's your future. It's your family. Do your due diligence. You have AI to help you do your due diligence today. You don't have to just rely on physical sources. If you have trusted, proven physical sources, by all means, talk to them. But use technology to help you uncover what is real, what is not, and what is the most effective way forward. That's the one thing. Secondly, if you're coming to start here, understand our economic agendas. Understand how is the government going to support you. Download the Global Entrepreneurship Monitor Report 2024-25, the GEM report, which measures on 13 criteria the ecosystems for business. We're number one in the world for the last 4 years. Download that report. It's called the GEM report, Global Entrepreneurship Monitor Report. It will give you every reason why you need to come to Dubai. Look at the future. Look at the government policies. Study their agendas. And try and understand why is it that all the millionaires and the billionaires of the world are now choosing Dubai. It's not just tax benefit. They can get tax benefits in other cities as well. And you realize that these people can walk into any city on the planet just on a residency program. They have that kind of money. But they're all taking Dubai. They're moving their businesses here. They're bringing families here. And when they bring families, they want safety, they want healthcare, they want quality of life, they want the opportunities, they want business ecosystems, they just want all of that to work for them. They want a government and policies to back them, and they're all giving the tick to Dubai. So do your homework, very, very important. Fact check everything. Check legacy of the companies you're going to work with. If you're coming into real estate, check the legacy of the developer. Check their performance history. And today it's so easy to do it. Land Department is very transparent with the information that you have. You can work with verified agencies with proven track records. Never work with a broker who doesn't have a RERA ID. Never work with a broker who doesn't have because I can already tell you that those companies are not good companies. Okay, you may be a new broker. It's taking some time, but you have evidence to show me. The applications have all gone in for you. There is a RERA for director in the company, but the history of this company will show you that they do it for their people. Work with those kind of companies, not a company which says, I'll only do your visa after 3 months, or I'll only do it if you close a deal. These are the agencies you don't want to touch at all, because they're clearly telling their people, work illegally, you put yourself at risk, I honestly don't care. So be very, very careful who you work with. Let them verify themselves to you. This will put pressure backwards on those kind of agencies. And use AI. AI is your best friend today to give you every kind of information that you want.
1,001%. And I think the cowboy workers and everything is huge. Please, please, please check out, because the amount of people now that have came to Dubai and been absolute mishaps is crazy. And in hindsight, it puts a bit of a bad light on Dubai that should not be happening for a country that's so helpful and innovative and want the best for their people. These people need to be kicked out fast. Well, thank you so much. Honestly, it's been a great conversation. I'm sitting here and my little brain's going with everything you've said. It's been so good to have you on, and I'm sure we'll get you on again soon in a year's time, and we can go around and see all the improvements and everything else that's now happened in Dubai.
Thank you, Hannah. Thank you for having me.